Praise the Lord, everyone. Check, check. Praise the Lord, everyone. I'm not sure if anyone's on. I'm experiencing some serious technical difficulties on my end. For some reason or another, my computer is shutting down. And so I'm trying my best to get that up running. But if you can hear me, if you are on whatever platform that you're watching on, if you are on, just hit the thumbs up. I do see 2 people on. I've had to reboot and restart, so I'm not sure if that's what's affecting my ability to be online as far as the stream is per se. Now, I know there was a text sent, a text blast that went out about the stream, but I'm not, again, if you are on and you can hear me clear and it's coming through fine, just hit the thumbs up so I know. Otherwise than that, the best I can do is try my best to maybe postpone this for, I know we did it last week already, although, you know, we had a beautiful time celebrating my anniversary, my wedding anniversary. So thank you so much had a wonderful time off last week. Yeah, but I'm not sure if this is coming through fine or not. But I just want to make sure I try to go on. And as the result, yeah, I think there are some technical difficulties with the stream, because I actually don't see it on Facebook. Now, for those of you that might be on YouTube, I'm not sure if it's on YouTube. YouTube watchers, or if you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook, can you just let me know? Because on my end, I cannot see whether it is up on either. That may be just my computer acting up. Anyway, tonight I just really wanted to, I didn't really want to be too long tonight. It was, since we finished the book of First John, it was merely me coming in tonight and kind of, I would say, reinforcing, reminding those of you that may have not been in attendance on Sunday about having enough. And so really that was the intention tonight, was me stressing that you have enough. Okay. As we look at Gideon in Judges chapter 7, God tells him, and if you have your Bibles, we're going to do that. Again, if you are on tonight, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, here's what I need you to do, because on my end, I cannot see. So I need you to do me a favor. Just tell me if you're on Facebook or YouTube. My stream, for some reason or another, I cannot see. And so I want to make sure I interact with those of you on, and to make sure that you are hearing me fine, that it's coming through fine. I do see that some is on, but again, I don't know where. I cannot see it on my Facebook side. So again, if you can hear me fine, just hit the thumbs up so I know that at least I'm talking to someone out there and you can hear me. That'd be great. If not, I'll just, again, try to reboot again, but I don't want to necessarily reboot again. and waste your time. So if you are out there, do me a favor and just hit the thumbs up. Anyway, I want to be short. I don't want to be too long tonight. For those of you that may come on tonight and watch this a little bit later, here's what I want you to know, and reiterate the message so it finds a home with you. I'm at Gideon, Judges chapter 7, verse of your Bibles, Judges chapter 7. And verse number 2 says everything that we need. The Lord said to Gideon, you have too many men. I can't deliver the Midianites into your hands, or Israel will boast against me. They will boast and say, my own strength has saved them. When you go to verse 4, he says it one more time. But the Lord said to Gideon, there's still too many men. Take them down to the water. Thin them out. I'll thin them out. If I say this one shall go with you, you shall go. But if I say this one shall not go with you, you shall not go. Each step of the way, especially becoming leaders, one of the things that God tried to press into Gideon's hearing from early on, that Gideon was dealing with that sense of inadequacy. Remember what was built or was pressed into his thinking from a young age. I am from the weakest tribe, and I'm also the weakest in my family. That it was impossible when God called him while he was threshing wheat. God called him, that he completely disregarded and canceled out what God was telling him about that he's a mighty man of valor, and that Israel's deliverance will come by his hands. God tells him that he will do this with his strength, his own strength, that you have enough strength. But it was all the built-in, I wouldn't say necessarily excuses, but that baked-in imagery, self-perception that he had of himself, where nothing God told him he was willing to believe because of the self-perception of not being enough. And so he canceled out anything that God was going to say because he believed that he wasn't enough. Now, fast forward to chapter number 7, when this time Gideon is starting to believe that he is, that this victory against these Midianites, Amalekites, and eastern tribes that have been oppressing the people, have been brutalizing them, ravishing their land, stealing their harvest, burning down their homes, just making life a living nightmare for them. That now, as Gideon is looking across and sees 135,000 troops, that he is up against it, only having 32,000 troops to battle that 135,000 across for them. And here it is that he's starting to believe that God can do great things with him, that God tells him that victory is impossible. I can't win. You can't win with that many people. You have to send some people home. Now, one thing I didn't stress on Sunday that I will stress tonight for those of you that are on that may not have seen Sunday sermon, was that each step of the way that there was a level of obedience. Now, when God tells Gideon that he has too much people, too many men. Now, the text doesn't show it. Now, I'm sure he probably was thinking it in his head, but the text doesn't show a rebuttal. The text doesn't show that Gideon actually said to God, that's impossible. What it does show was a level of obedience that even in these impossible odds, that the troops are stacked up against him, being that it was 135,000 and he only had 32,000, there was this level of obedience to trust God. Now, that's important before we even get into the thinning out process of whittling down the troops. One of the things that we stress is every leader being able to be obedient to what God has to say, even when it doesn't make sense. That is the essence of obedience sometimes, that there is a trust that God knows best, right? That's one of the things that I should have stressed a little bit more Sunday, that when you are going up against the odds, there has to be a full-fledged trust in obedience in what God is telling you. Even when the odds, even when what he's saying doesn't make sense, okay? And so that's crucial. There has to be faith, trust, and obedience in believing what God says in order for you to indeed succeed when you're up against the odds. Does that make sense tonight? If you are on, I don't mind you just hitting thumbs up. Just again, since I cannot see whether or not you can hear me or see me, if you're in the chat on Facebook or on YouTube, just hit a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. So one of the things I want to stress is make sure every leader understands that there's obedience. That even when God tells you something that makes no sense, especially when God says, especially when you're looking across and it's 135,000 troops and you only have 32,000, and God tells you you have too much, that you're obedient in listening to what God has to say. From the beginning, one of the things God wanted to stress, and he stressed it in chapter 6, is he tells Gideon, go in the strength that you have. And so from the beginning, God wanted Gideon, although he was inadequate, he wasn't inadequate, but the way he viewed himself, God already told him he has enough, even before the army came. And so that's one of the things. Before we can proceed, we have to be, I guess, cognizant of you have enough. God has given you enough. You are enough, and you have enough. Okay. Before we can step into any battle and start doing the work of the Lord, we have to come to that resolution. We have to come to that place in our lives where we can indeed say, I am enough and I have enough. Yeah. I am enough and I have enough. And so by the time we get to chapter number 7, Gideon understands that I'm going to trust God because what God has been doing with me, it has turned out to be true. I've seen how he worked within my family's life. I've seen how he changed the opinion of those around me, and I've seen how he has allowed my status to grow. And so I'm going to trust God this time, even if it doesn't make sense. And so we learn that when he tells him you have too many, this is the thing that I needed to stress, that less is more, that you have to learn to win with less. That many of your complaint is that you don't have enough. that there's not enough resources, there's not enough income, there's not enough of help, there's not enough support, there's not enough sources of influence for you to do what it takes to get the job done. And you're unable to move forward because your complaint to God is you don't have enough. And you're looking at the size of the obstacle, and you're seeing your resources and your sources and your money, your friendships and your influence and all the different areas of maybe finance, and you're saying it's not enough, and God is saying no. The issue is not that you don't have enough. The issue is that you're looking at the enemy, what the enemy has, and you're taking your eye off of what you have. And here's the thing, you're trusting too much in what you have, and it's because you have too many resources, which is causing you to lose. It's not because you have less. It's not because you don't have enough. What God is saying, you have too much. Okay? And so, even before God goes into battle, even before Gideon goes into battle, there has to be a dwindling down process that every leader, once you understand you have enough, once you know you are enough, once you understand that you are obedient to God, even in the face of a command that doesn't make sense, that you have before the battle, before you get into battle, there is a necessary sifting, a necessary separation process that you must go through with the people in your life. Not every friend. And so what happens when Gideon, indeed, all these people sign up and they show up, he realized after the fact 22,000 goes home, is that you will understand too, not every person that signs up will show up for you. Not every person that says they are in the battle with you, they are rocking with you, they are staying with you, just because they signed up doesn't mean they're going to show up when it matters most. Because as you will see within the text, is as much as they show up, many of those, when Gideon does give them the opportunity to go home, when he makes the announcement and says, you can go home. If you're fearful, go home. 22,000 went home. So they showed up. They signed up to be in the army. They signed up to indeed help Gideon. But when the rubber hit the road, when he does indeed makes the announcement, okay, if you're fearful, you could go home, 22,000 goes home. And so that tells me that there are many that show up. There's many that sign up in your life, say they are friends, say they are with you, but when time the rubber hits road, just because they're there doesn't mean they're going to show up for you. So it's important that you don't get so reliant on the numbers, because when people do start walking away, when people do start walking out of your life, you don't want yourself to be so depressed and cast down, or you feel sad, and it causes you to lose sight of what the battles are in front of you, because people starting to walk away, people don't show up, people start turning away, and they don't pop up. They say they're going to be with you, but now we're in the heart of the battle, right before battle, they walk away. I'm sure getting in that announcement, and that's why I love the text, in that announcement, when he says that if you're fearful, this is your opportunity to go home, he does not get he does not get sad when they walk away. He does not get sad at one of the most crucial times. This is a battle, and I know personally, we probably will take offense to people walking out at this. We will say this is the worst time for people to walk out. That we'll be so stuck in being mad at, how can they walk out on me now? Don't they know what we're up against? How can people turn away from me now? Don't they know what we're up against? And we can use that and allow ourselves to get so sad and so depressed and so angry at who left, and forget who is staying with us, and that this is an opportunity for you to see who is really with you. And too many of us put too much in who walks away. Too many of us spend too much of our emotional times and tears about the people that walked away, when we should really be thanking God for allowing those to stay. Yeah. That we spend so much tear equity. We waste so much of our emotional capacity on those who walked away, that I know you probably, depending on those to stay, you would think that they would stay, that this is a crucial time in your life. I'm just putting my imagination into what if I was in Gideon's shoes, what I would have thought, especially if we are in this hot battle with 135,000 troops on the other side, and I only have 32,000. I make the announcement that whoever's fearful, go home, and I would expect no one leaves, because you showed up, you signed up, but now I give you the opportunity to go home, and now you do. You take this opportunity because of fear, and you leave. And too many of us are sad by who leaves, and not understand and be thankful about those who stay. Yeah. That is for us to really be appreciative of those who stayed, not in who's left, not in who left us, but those who decided to stay with you. Yeah. That the beauty in this scene was that Gideon makes the announcement. He makes the announcement. God says, make the announcement, because there are going to be people that walk away. Okay? And so I want you to understand that as well. Not everyone that show up that say they're going to fight with you are going to fight with you. And many of the people that show up that say they're going to stay with you aren't going to stay with you, will not be there with you, will not make it to the finish line. And two, one of the reasons that God sets out, not just because of fear, as we talked about on Sunday, it's because you can't win with some people because they would take credit for that win. God understands that before I can even grant you victory, there's the aftermath. It's dealing with people's egos and self-perception after they win. That there are some people that the evidence and their ego gets in the way after the battle. And God says, no, you don't want these, because how many people know, as I said Sunday, how many people who helped you out in your life still remind you about it every single day? They fed you one time in your life, and of course you are appreciative for that opportunity that they helped you through life, but every single day they remind you about that. And so God understands the same way. That they're not only going to, if they do that to you, they do it to him as well. And he can't allow people to take credit for what he did. Okay? And some of you are experiencing that right now. That indeed victory or winning is sometimes the worst thing that can happen with some people. Yeah, yeah. Winning with them, it sometimes can be one of the worst experiences, because it does not bring glory to God. It only makes their ego worse. Have you ever, if you're out there, have you ever seen how success made somebody's ego worse? All it did was raise their ego and their pride. All it did was amplify this self-perception of themselves. And as I said, what God wanted to show us, that there is no way he's going to share his glory. That there's no way that he's going to allow anyone to take credit for what he's done. I did tell you that this is what we understand, what God is a jealous God. And it's not because God is insecure, it's because God is in love. Right? He said, get rid of those. Get rid of the prideful people. Get rid of the people that's fear. and understand that there's a certain few. You have more than enough. It's not that it's not that you have less. It's not that you, in comparison to what you're going up against, it doesn't add up. God is trying to teach you is that you have too much because you are enough. Yeah. I wish somebody would type that in. I am enough. I am enough. And so, brothers and sisters, as you go through the day, go through the remaining of the week, whatever lies in front of you, whatever obstacle that lies in front of you, I need you to really come to that testimony, and that you need to testify to yourself that you are enough. That you have to see that God has given you enough to win with. You have more than enough to win with. And if though people, and though your support systems and your friendships and those that that volunteered and screened that they're going to be a part of your life, and though as you see you are dwindling down. Here's the thing, that one thing with God, he said, I'm gonna thin them out for you. That's what he said. He said, I'm going to thin them out for you. Some of you are going through this sifting out process, the separation process, and it's not even orchestrated by you. God is doing it. People are walking away. People are leaving. Not because anything you're doing. It's because God is saying, each step of your way, this journey, more and more people, before you get to your place of destiny, before you get to that battlefield, here's what God is doing. Each step of the way, I'm going to minus, I'm going to subtract, I'm going to separate, I'm going to pull people out of your life that I know you can't win with. That's one thing that God showed Gideon, that he says, okay, you got this group, now move to the next area. Each step of the way, when if you look at your Bible in Judges 7, verse 1, they're camped at the spring of Herod. That's where they camped at. They camped out there. And it was 32,000 there. Gideon makes the announcement. Then God says, okay, there's still too many. Take them down to the water. Each place that God moved Gideon to, less and less people. Each place that Gideon moved to before he got to the battle, God started to dwindling down, sifting out, separating, deducting people. And so I'm here to tell you, each step of your way, of your life, God is indeed doing the same thing. It is not something that you are generating. It's not something man-made. This sifting process, this separation process was not Gideon generated. It was God generated. So I know some of you that you might be going through a moment where you're trying to wondering what's going on. These people that said they're going to be with you, that after the pandemic, you have not seen these people anymore. That now, as your life moves towards, as you're moving towards different stations and on this journey in life, somehow God is just revealing to you how people are walking away. And it could be you can use this moment for a moment of sadness because you're trying to wonder, like, what is happening? And if you read the text tonight, you see that this was God generated. He was thinning out the people because not everybody you can go in battle with, and not everybody you can win with. Yeah. You're in a sifting process, brothers and sisters, every step of the way. Each step of the way, God is going to put the right people in your life. Yeah, that's what that God, every right place, God is going to put the right people so that you can reach the right point in your destiny. That's what God was doing. For every place that Gideon went to, God was putting the right people in his life. Lord, help me to keep going in the right direction, and not only the right direction, but make sure you put the right people in my life. And what God does often is, in order for you to get the right people, he has to subtract the wrong people. For every place that he stopped, God put the right people. Yeah. I hope that is your prayer. Every place that you step, every step that I take, Lord, everywhere you guide me, please help me, or please you, not help me, please you place the right people in my life so that I can reach the right destiny and achieve the right result. Are you with me out there? So pretty much that's what I want to tell you, saints. For those of you that have joined me for this brief time that I spent with you tonight, that is my heart's cry for you tonight, that you have enough. And stop looking at the resources of the obstacle in front of you, and look at the source of the God that's with you. You have enough. All right? It's not that you saying to yourself, oh, I don't have enough. No, you have enough. In fact, you have too much. But each step of your way, this is a God-designed sifting process, God-designed separating process. He's not setting you up for failure. And maybe we often view when God starts cutting things, essential things out of our life, our first initial response to seeing as God cut things away, we view it as a negative. We make it problematic, because in our minds we feel like we're being deserted, and we don't discern that this ain't a bad thing, this is a good thing. Right? We don't discern that this is a necessary deduction for our advancement. We don't discern that the pruning process sometimes is not just you, that God is pruning the crew, the people that you're around, that God dwindles them out because he understands if you take them with you, you will lose. If they keep going with you, you will lose. I can't, he already told them, I can't give you victory over the Midianites with the people that you're with. I can't give you victory with the people that you're with. Not to say they are bad people. Hear me. This is not that they are bad people. They're not bad people, because some people that that God is sifting or separating you from, they are great people, good people. It's just that you can't win with those people, because what God sees is maybe you will trust and rely on them more than looking at him. We often view this as a negative. I personally do the same thing myself, that we see as people leave, people don't come back, people fall out of your life. Nothing that you done, you didn't instigate it, you didn't motivate it, you didn't promote it. It just one of those things that happen, and it can leave you questioning about, did you do something? Did what indeed happened? And now you're wondering, oh my God, where's my support? Where's my friendship? Where's the people that said that? And we can view this as a negative and not recognize it, that God is setting us up for something bigger after. That what I'm going to do with you, I will not be, I couldn't do it with all those attached. And then it's not always a negative. That it's not always where it's just one of those separation processes that happens, but there are some separation processes, sifting processes where people fall out of your life that is God designed. This battle that you're about to go in, that each step of the way, God is going to put the right people around you. And that's what happened. Each step of the way, 32,000 went to 300 because God understands the right people that you need to win with. I know it's not as big as the 32,000, but the right people. The right people that's going to get you not just the win, but most importantly, that you're going to achieve glory, that God is going to get glory out of it. And that's what it is, brothers and sisters. We all have to be able to discern, what do we want? Do we want to win, or do we want God to get the glory? And if God gets the glory, I know in the process it doesn't always feel good, because humanity, we want to win. I want to win with the 32,000. I want to win with the 50,000. I want to win with the 60,000. I want to win with the big numbers. And what God says, that's not necessarily true. You might win, it might feel good, but I get no glory out of it. So in the process, while I move you through these different points in your life, as I move you through the journey that you're taking in life, I'm going to pull people out of your life. And you can get sad because people left, or you can rejoice because I designed it and I'm staying. I'm staying with God. That's the cry today. I'm staying with God. Wherever he takes me, and wherever he takes me, and whatever he takes away from me, I'm staying with God. If you're on tonight, and can you type that in? I'm staying with God. Yeah, I'm staying with God. Wherever he takes me, and whatever he takes away from me, I'm staying with God. Wherever he takes me, and whatever he takes away from me, I'm staying with God. Wherever he takes me, whatever he takes away from me, I'm staying with God. One more time. Wherever he takes me, and whatever he takes away from me, I'm staying with God. Gideon stayed with God. He says, you don't have to do this, Gideon. You don't have to separate it. But make sure whoever I say don't take. That's what he says in Judges 7 verse 4. He says at the end, when I tell you this one should go, take that one. If I tell you that one should not go, don't take that one. I want to make sure you understand it. If God says don't take them, don't take them. If God says take them, make sure you take them. Because that's another thing that we fight God on who should go and who should not go. That sometimes who God says not to take, we want to take. And who God says to take, we don't want to take. Amen. All right. God bless you, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining me tonight. You have enough. You have enough. You are enough. You have enough. And God is enough. I want to again remind everyone, just in case we are not in person this Sunday, we are going to be streaming. This is not an in-person service, so make sure, if those of you that are on tonight, please join us. Join us on Sunday. We will be streaming. I also want to, again, as we get closer and closer to our convention, remember the close convention pledges. Remember those. Listen, if the Lord has laid on your heart to to help this ministry monetarily, please make sure. I'm asking you. I'm not gonna say make sure. Please, I'm asking you to uh, make fulfill that. If that's the urging or the prompting of your heart, please, I'm asking if you do so kind to do that. You will hear that more and more, because we are heightening the urgency of our financial support as again we get to the close of our project. It is one of those things where now we're putting the final touches on. It is the need for us to up the urgencies for all this financial support. So please don't get annoyed by us constantly saying that. Again, we are not a church that goes through badgering the people for their financial support. So when we do make a what seemed as a repetitive, almost annoying announcement, we are not doing it just to do it. We are doing it because of the plans and goals and the deadlines that we want to make sure that we can meet. All right. So again, there's multiple different ways to give. You go online. I think it's finance at CCOG. I don't know the direct uh, um, um, Zelle account, but I'm sure if you go on our website, you can find it there. Text anyone within the group, email anyone in the group. They will always have that information on hand. All right. God bless you, everyone. I hope you have a blessed remaining of the week. Try to stay as cool as you can as we approach the 90s. It seems like each day this week. Keep our leadership in prayer. Remember those that you have not seen in a while. There's also, again, we'll have an all-night prayer meeting this Friday. For those of you that want, it should be Zoomed as well. For if you want to join us via Zoom, you can do that. Prayer meeting will not be at 6. It will be an all-night Zoom prayer meeting as we put our, not just all the needs of the church, but specifically our convention this year. All right. God bless you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening and remaining of the week.